Right, I think we are live. What's going on, guys? It's Ben's here. I thought I'd come back on a live stream and do another little 45-minute production session. So I've got my tea, got some digestives, and yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. Played a set down in Southampton, and then a set out at midday on Saturday in Andover High Street, and it's just been crazy. All week it's just been like this mad panic to like get my set done and get tunes sorted out, and I'm probably my own worst enemy at times because there's no real need for it. But hey ho, I do it every time. The lesson is, if you're gonna do sets, just get them prepped like weeks before. Before I just last minute panic. But I'm really inspired by the weekend because I don't know what it is with Jump Up. It's just so infectious. Like I got back from the rave. I went into bed and like, all I could hear and see was Jump Up. Like strobe still flashing and stuff. It was absolutely mental. But yeah, so I've already selected a track that I think I'm gonna work on. It's quite old. It's called Cuphead. Yeah, as the name implies, it's a Jump Up tune. Let me get a quick demo up here for you real quick. Where's it gone? God. I've made too many tunes. There we are, 47. It's still really early. I'll play a quick snippet and then I want to show you what it's inspired by, because I think it's gonna. This tune's either gonna be one of those tunes where everyone's gonna absolutely hate it and just a waste of time, but I think it's still worth the risk, or it's gonna be like really catchy and it's gonna be an absolute banger. But let me play a few. Hasn't really got much of an intro yet. As you see, it's like a bit sparse. But yeah, you get the hint. It's just gonna be like one of the. I don't know whether it's just gonna be really fucking annoying and people just not gonna enjoy it. It's gonna go off. I don't know. I'm gonna finish it anyway. So we've got 45 minutes on the clock. I think mainly needs to be around the mix down to start with because it's a bit muddy. The sub's really heavy. So I'm going to try and sort that out as quick as I can, and I'll chuck in a bit of advice and some tips of what I'm doing as I'm going through that process. And yeah, so let's get it open. 45 minutes on the clock. Let's go. All right. Yeah, I made this tune. When did I make it? 2024. So it's 2 years old, and my production has changed a lot in that time. So I think whatever's going to be in this project is just going to be like old plugins and old ways of doing it. So I think the key here is to I don't know, I guess just maybe get some of the new things I'm doing in my tracks and take it from there, like especially on like the master chain and stuff, because I mean, I haven't used these plugins for years, probably 2 years when I made it. What we got? SQ. This is a sick EQ, and it's basically based off SSL products. Analog Obsession. They're free actually, but I don't really use them anymore. I've got a new mastering chain. I learned a few things around DC offset, and it sounds, I don't know, it's really complex to explain. I'll have to do another video on it, but it essentially will align your track back into mono, and yeah, make this the low end just in the center again, because it can move off center if you're putting like stereo and stuff in. So I have the chain already just built out, and if I'm going back to old tunes, I can just chuck the chain on, and already probably it'll be a massive difference to what it was before. So let's have a quick listen. Lockfire and puncher, like already that's just like one change. What I do like to do when I'm working on mix sounds specifically is have this reference plugin, and you can just reference the other track. So if you're like going through versions, save a version, move on, and then use reference to see if you've made the right choice. But let's see how that sounds just from changing the master chain. This is the current chain and then the old chain now. It's just like more open, and the sub is better. So that's already a good start. I do have a lot of my stuff at Bust. I try to work with buses as much as I can. So this will be the bass bus here. Synth. I'll use current for this one. I think so. When I am quickly doing mix downs and stuff, got to get your analyzers out for sure. Did a video on this already, but it's like mixing without ears, not using analyzers, especially for the low end. So I'm just gonna try get my sub up into a more reasonable range. Kind of want it up here about -30, and I don't want stereo width down there at all. Again, like most of my EQs and stuff for doing mix sounds, I'll just make a preset and start from there, even with like a few basic controls. So this should hopefully get rid of the low end. It's made it a bit louder as well. Maybe a bit of compression to just stop rubbing so much. These peaks, probably get rid of them. Don't really like on my sub 2. It's a bit weaker, so probably gonna swap it out actually. I do like current for subs, but Serum's the GOAT, to be honest. So one thing I have learnt recently actually is when you're creating sub basses, you can use a sub oscillator to modulate the noise, and it absolutely blew my mind. It was in a video I watched by Virtual Riot. I did not know you could do that. So you just right click it, mod source, and then oscillator A, and then in the matrix it will basically put the LFO as the same frequency as oscillator A. So the way the sine wave's going for oscillator A, the noise will follow it. It sounds awesome. Let me show you real quick. see it's like flutters with the sub. It's so good. It's such a simple and effective way of making subs, because it will just, the noise you add on to the top of the sub will just help it cut through the mix. You'll hear it in a second. Let's try to get this mixed in. It's a bit low still. Okay, this mastering chain is killing the low end, so it's not quite right. Just update that quickly. So let's try this again. Alright, that will do. I'm not going to spend any more time on that. I'll sort of mix on it in a minute, but I need to work out why it's still getting a stereo width down there. Where it's showing the purple there. I think what I need to do is bus the bass and the sub and cut it from there, so it's all in one group. It's really annoying. It's only showing up on the master. Let's probably that. That's better. That is very fucking loud. Let's try and... yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit of trial and error. I wonder whether just skip the mix down. I mean, I've done 15 minutes of it, so I think I'm going to leave the mix down bit for now and put this back, because that's what I like to do, is just basically do a load of work and then just get rid of it. This is why I never finish any tunes. Luckily you get this compare function in Studio One, so you can just revert back to whatever you had. Okay, that is just really loud at the moment. It's probably my ears. But then as soon as I turn it down, it loses that sparkle at the top, that bounce that it gets. Maybe I can clip it in here and just... So one good little trick actually whilst I'm working on this, if you see when you're adding a clipper to anything, even if your sound before adding a clipper was clean, when you add a clipper on top of any type of distortion, you end up creating a low end rumble basically from the distortion. So depending on what distortion you get, it will tend to fill out the sound, and you might just get unwanted crap down the bottom. Basically, you can see it, this sort of grey area. It's always recommended to remove them and use a linear phase filter. Basically, that will just keep the sound normal rather than changing the alignment of your sub or the highs or anything. So it's definitely worth making sure you've got a linear phase and just strip out any of that low end when adding distortion and things. This plugin's really good. That sound is a bit annoying. It just resonates in my ears weird, but this plugin called Equator, it's a resonant EQ, so we'll just look for those resonances and just drop them down. Okay, I think it just needs a bit of texture. There's not much in the top end. There's loads of mid frequencies in that stab, but let's see what adding a bit of texture sounds like. No, maybe Byte. It's not quite right. So Byte is just another texture plugin. You don't get as much control as you do with texture with like the noise and how you control that noise, but it's just like a downgrade. It's like a digital way of distorting the signal. So like a lot of drum and bass, especially people like similar, when you get those sharp yoi basses, this plugin is amazing for that. So you can dial in like crunchy top end by reducing like the signal quality. It's clever stuff. I think that's the best way to get the high end. That gives you an idea of what it does. These things are just like little bits to add on. It's not like you wouldn't have a full sound like that, but for mix sounds, doing putting something like Byte on could definitely just give you the top end really easy. And then the jitter knob, once you've dialed in sort of what frequency you want, the jitter knob will then turn that into noise. So rather than like sharp spikes, which you see on the analyzer, it will smooth those out and it will go more into like noise rather than just. I'll give you an example. So it just gives that synth, I don't know, it just cut through the mix. I think it's just really muddy and a bit annoying sounding. I don't know how to explain it. It's like we'll work it out. I've maybe some chorus or something so it stops being so repetitive. Check the original, probably made it bad now, I don't know. Actually, that's a lot better. It's amazing, just like a few plug-in tweaks. I'm trying to keep the vibe of the track, but I think it's going to be one of those tracks that you're just going to have to like finish quick. Otherwise, it's going to do my head. I don't know whether working on headphones is the right thing, but especially doing mix down. So I'd prefer doing it on the monitors, but I can't have a microphone on without that. Another thing that needs to be added is some sort of sidechain compression for the kick and the snare. I use Shaperbox for that. I've got some presets already made. Presets. That is the way forward with production. You just need to click a button and just get back to where you want. Like if you find yourself recreating, the same thing over and over and over again, just create a preset, slap the preset on, do a little tweak and move on. That's the best tip and advice I could give you for production. The problem is you end up with loads and you've got to find the one you want. It was Bus Shaper. So I have just basic presets already in place for ducking the kick and snare. You've got multi-band capability on these plugins, so which is really useful. So for the kick, I've just sidechain the kick into here, and then it will start reacting to the audio. So I'll just tick this box. And we'll do the same for the snare as well. So already that just helps the kick and the snare like get back to center stage. On the last version I tried, everything was sounding really muddy and compressed in the bottom. If we play them again. I mean, the track just sounds a lot more open. For the drum, I'm going to leave that for now. It's doing what it needs to do. Try not think about it too much. I don't process drums the same way anymore, and I think I can get a better result with the new way I do things with mixed drums. I absolutely love this plugin from Arturia. It's literally my go-to plugin for Mixbus on drums. It's just got everything you need in one plugin. So I already have a preset made for this that we can start working off of. Again, this is like one of those cases of I've been doing the same thing over and over, so I end up just bang it on a preset, update the preset. Drums. One thing I'm noticing with these drums is like a lot of hiss up at the top end here. It's like that's too much. It's very tinny on the ears. So, how are we gonna get rid of that? Good question. Where's it coming from? I think it's these hats. Definitely is. Very harsh. I wonder if it's the processing I've done. No, it's just the hats are like that. Just gonna EQ it, I think. And see if I can resolve it that way. Actually, Soothe is really good at this. If you have like resonances and stuff, Soothe, highly recommend it for like, especially on like hi-hats and snares that are a bit too harsh, too much grit on them. See, it's just got it back to a more stable level. I mean, it's actually doing quite a lot gain reduction there. So much better. I think that was doing a lot of damage in the mix because everything was a bit harsh. Then get rid of that low end again. What we got for the kick is in key. What key are we in? E sharp minor. I know because it's down here. And I set it, so it's a good key to make D&B, especially these like weird. I don't even know. Actually, I'm gonna stop the clock for a second because I just wanted to show you what inspired this track. And reasons called Cuphead. I think originally I actually called it Spot after this game on the on the Sega, but it's just the way this guy moves about. And then Cuphead. This game's crazy. It's just, I don't know, it's got that vibe, bouncy and I wonder if I can get the game out quickly. Then you get the idea. It should be the theme tune, the Cuphead theme tune. There we go. That's the promo video done. I'll just jack the trailer and just make Ben's Cuphead over it. I should send it to the devs, man. I mean, like, that's perfect. Come on. If that's not a good idea and it fits, then I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. My fucking crazy ideas I come up with. I've lost my timer now. Let's do a bit more work. Go on, another 19 minutes, do a bit more of this, and then we can check them out. Let's see if we've actually done any good. Back at it. So I think, I don't know. The kick's like good. It's a bit distorted. It's like a bit boingy. I mean, maybe that's why it's working. I think I can tighten up a bit. Annoyingly, I'm gonna have to save this because I've got kick free, so you can open up kick 2 presets of kick free, and the GUI's so much nicer. So I'll just again start from a known preset, something you've done before, and then you can evolve it in any direction you want. So good thing about kick is you can put it in key. So this isn't in key. We need to get it down to D sharp, E sharp, E, basically E minor. And by controlling this sort of this little curve here, you can really change the sound of a kick. Because if you move it up, you get the springy, boingy ones. And then if you move it down, you get like the subby low attack. I kind of want the boingy sound, but like not too much. So it needs to sort of bounce with the tune. Boom, boom, boom. But still hit hard. Let's open up volume a bit. Turn EQ off. Don't want that. EQ outside of kick. Something's clicking. Let's see how that sounds. Nearly there, actually. I quite like that. It's better than the boingy one, maybe a bit more boing. I don't even know how to explain half this shit. The thing is, it's like you just got to go in, and once you've tweaked something so many times, the results become predictable. That's the craziest thing about music production, because when you first start, you're moving things, you're like, what? I don't know what it's doing. You just end up making a mess, and eventually, like, you just find something, you dial in on like a particular something that moves the sound in a certain way and just tweak it, and eventually you'll find out exactly what those elements are that you need to tweak. and that's how like I can describe what I'm gonna do and what sound is gonna come out of it, and that's by really learning the plugins, dialing. And Kick 3 is such a good example because every aspect that you're changing with your kick is going to keep that track moving along. It's the driving force of the tracks, low end. It's what people are going to feel, and it's going to kind of set the stage for what you're doing. Yeah. No idea what I'm chatting about. Just trying to make talk for YouTube. Boingy kicks, trust me, it works. That'll do. I don't want to spend too long. The problem is I'll get sucked in to tweaking like a kick, for example, getting it in tune or something like that. The glue, this plugin is the nuts, especially for kicks. I don't use it all the time. I think it's based off an SSL compressor, and it's just got a nice vibe to it. Again, I've gone through pre-made presets, so when I'm making tracks, I'm just applying the preset, tweaking from there. That's the theme of this video really, is make production as quick as you can, presets, find them. So not doing too much gain reduction for the kick, but this particular preset will just sort of add a flick or a click to the front of the sound and bring the low end down, so it allows the kick to punch out the mix a bit more, basically. And you'll hear it start to get rid of that like boing at the end, because it kind of like tightens it up in a way. Bit of EQ, a lot of EQ. Alright. Much better. All I did with this EQ, okay, the sub was just a bit much, and just bring out the main fundamental of the kick. There's a lot of like mid in the kick that just really wasn't needed. I want to keep the mid free for the main element, so that being that lead, that dong 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 lead, and then just roll the top end off a bit. It sounds much cleaner. So that's like 3 bits of processing on one kick, but if it's dialed in right, the result is much better than 100 plugins not done correctly. So literally we've got a clipper 3D, but nothing crazy. I'll probably put another one on at the end. Bit of compression, EQ into Final Clipper. You see, you can get that like that click at the beginning now. Maybe you can. And then one thing I do like doing is I love my kicks quite tight, and again, shape a box, just the volume. I just like to sort of cut off the tails. I don't really like them bleeding into other elements. When you've got that little tail, it will just attach to the sub and knock it out of alignment with the phase. I mean, ultimately, what this plugin excels at is just really gluing all of those elements together. I actually had the wrong preset on and I could hear it. It was making a kick a bit more poppy. I don't know whether it's even going to translate on YouTube or not, but just dial the reverb back in quickly. That's really annoying because I spent the time EQing and sorting it out with wrong settings applied, so now I have to go back and tweak it, and that's probably the most frustrating thing about production is you think you're just doing the right thing and then you come across something else that's causing it and you've just made a right mess. But luckily it's not too bad, so we'll roll with this. Alright. The drums, maybe the hats, the highs need a bit more like splash. Splash, yeah. That's the word. Maybe you could EQ it in a bit. Just highs. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Let's have a quick listen, forward after. Actually, night and day. I don't even know whether you guys can like hear it. Mix downs, they're really tough because it's layers and layers and layers, and eventually you get the result. Like you have to have the combination of the correct layers with the mix down to get the whole thing. It's like making a cake. Like I don't know, if you have rubbish eggs, you get a rubbish cake. If you have fresh eggs, maybe the cake's better. I don't know. No idea what ref. That's fucking. No idea why that's relevant. Absolutely. Right. We've got 5 minutes left. I'm gonna build an intro in 5 minutes. So when you got the intro, maybe the build. Let's see if I can add something there. I like speed running it. That's why clocks are good, because it sort of puts a bit of pressure on you to get it done. Otherwise, I end up in a loop of like overthinking everything. And then by the time I've spent all that effort and energy into overthinking everything, I'm like, what was I even doing in the first place? Splice opened. I did have those samples I made the other day. I don't know where I put them though, so let's just get Here we go. I just want some noise. Simple noise using every track. I mean, there's like 50,000 random noise samples you could use, but they're really easy to manipulate anyway. And probably get a rise in there, some description, maybe keep it simple. Simple is always best to start with, in my opinion. Like doing a lot of my sound design, start with like something basic and get the vibe, and then you can mold the sound into the vibe you've got on the track. So it's a much better way of doing things, I think, and it's easier, it's quicker. You don't have to worry about sound design, just get the sound moving in that direction. So just add LFO 1 onto the course and it should start rising. This default sound is not very pleasing to the ear. I do put all of my effects and stuff in key as well, so if I'm making a riser, I'll make it rise at least 12, 24, 36 semitones, 1 octave, 2 octave, 3 octaves, but it's gonna start on key and end in key. So you don't want your riser to then sort of rise up, stay on another key, and then the drop, because the drop doesn't sound right. So you need to get it up to your same key throughout the length of the riser. So this is slightly short, and I'm gonna get it to stay up here. I know it's in key because I got up to 24 here. You can go higher, but so it's not long enough. It's going to be the world's longest riser. 8 bars. So instead of automation, one thing I like to do is Serum is I just write my automation in Serum. Instead of filling up this, like you could just automate that for 8 bars in Studio One if you wanted, or you can just have an LFO, and it's much easier to change the LFO timings of it and stuff rather than having to just go in and write loads of automation. Top tip. Make it wobble, I think. Ouch. I'm like the king of risers. Twice I've just come on YouTube now and made risers. Gotta love a riser. Right, that's not rising. Only 8 bars. It cuts off. I need that up there. Please and thank you. Yeah, that's just as annoying as it's probably going to be. Let's quickly see how it sounds. actually creases me up how all I've done is added a riser and a bit of noise, and look at like the results you get. It's try not to get caught up on like making something crazy to start with. Just get the elements in and you can do all the fun stuff after. The time is up, but I'm just gonna do one thing quickly, and that is something I like to do with my kicks for build-ups, because I don't know whether you can hear it in this track, but when it gets to like the rumble, the long kick, everything starts to sound a bit distorted because it takes over the mix, and all of like the stuff in the master chain will just be basically slammed, and you don't want that. So when doing my kick rolls, I have them lower, and what I'll do is I just add a bus, not really necessarily, but it's just how I do it, and then put a gain plugin on. This is kilohertz. It's just literally all it does is control the noise, this up and down volume. Set to percent mode, put some automation in for it, and as it rises up, then that will allow the kick to rise up, but we've got it turned down, so when it reaches like the peak, it won't be so like heavy and distorted. I don't want it up to 200% though. Jeez. Alright, last play then. Let's quickly. I'm interested to see how it sounds before though. So let's see how this riser sounds. Yeah, do you know what? Something is telling me that this tune has got a vibe, and I don't know what it is. I'm really torn with it, but I think I'm going to pursue it. Like, the mix sounds done now. Didn't take too long, and we've got a bit of an intro. I mean, for 45 minutes, that's pretty good going. I'll just show you before and after, so you can kind of hear what you do for the session. You need to reference the old one with the new one to make sure you're pushing in the right direction, because it's really easy to just get in your own head, start tweaking stuff, and then you're like, this doesn't even sound anything close to what the original sounds. So recommend reference to. Let's play the original then. Play the original. So much better. It's not quite right still, but I just realised, by the way, I've got a span on a master. I have it on another screen, so I reference this. As soon as I'm looking at mix sounds or anything, I'm looking at my analyzer. I need to see as well as here, but I'll just show you the main differences on the analyzer, and then we'll call it a day. So big up everyone who's been locked in. Let's just show you this one trick, and then we're done. So what I'm seeing, the sub's more solid, peaking higher, less frequencies here, and the top end, you see there's like really high sub, more low mid. The second version's a lot brighter, so that will be where I'll continue with from. So if you do want to see this finish live, then make sure you let me know, drop me a note, and we'll take it from there. I'm trying to do these regular, but I don't know, maybe once a week, 45 minutes, an hour, and just chat music production. But if this is something you're interested in, then make sure you let me know, and keep it locked, and I'll catch you in the next one.